Key factors in the marketing environment which could affect RBS Bank. Ellie Smith, 335 32914. During this presentation, I will be discussing the micro and macro factors that can have an effect on the impact of a business. RBS is a private and taxpayer-owned bank and insurance holding company with branches across the UK but based in Edinburgh. The major external and uncontrollable factors that influence an organisation's decision-making and affect its performance and strategies. These factors include the economic factors, demographics, legal, political and social conditions, technological changes and natural forces. Political factors. Ian Blackford, SNP leader, has urged Theresa May to tell the head of RBS Bank that the branch closures are unacceptable and they are turning their backs on the communities. Between 2007 and 2008, the rise in people using online banking increased from 30% to 69%, so inevitably branches are going to close. However, RBS have responded by saying that they still want to ensure all customers have over-the-counter services, as most people prefer to bank in-store, and when dealing with customer inquiries, they would rather speak to a customer advisor rather than post inquiries online and on forums. An article by the Financial Reporter has outlined how banks will face economic uncertainty post-Brexit. In response to this uncertainty, RBS have taken advice from the Bank of England and set aside £100 million. According to Sam Woods, Deputy Governor of the Bank of England, it is important that RBS set aside this money to boost liquidity and protect assets if customers cannot repay their debts after the UK departs the EU and interest rates increase. Factors or elements in an organisation's immediate area of operations that affects its performance and decision-making freedom. These factors include competitors, customers, distribution channels, suppliers and the general public. Microenvironment customers. Royal Bank of Scotland will launch a new mobile bank with plans to move 100 million of its NatWest customers over to the new site. NatWest is a fully owned subsidiary of RBS and currently has 7.5 million retail customers. The bank stated that Chief Operating Officer Mark Bailey was running the operation, and in an interview with Sky News he stated that our industry is changing rapidly and therefore we need to keep pace by launching new approaches to better serve customers. The new mobile banking will affect customers as there will be no physical branches, and customers prefer branches for customer inquiries and dealing with complaints. Another issue RBS may face with this new platform is how to choose the NatWest customers that move over to the new branch and whether they will be satisfied with the choice of new ownership. Microenvironment and stakeholders. During the recession in 2008, RBS was part bought by the government after a string of market collapses, with reports of losses up to £691 million. Currently, the taxpayer owns 62% of RBS, but a recent BBC article has outlined how the RBS will now pay dividends despite the lower profits. The bank have announced they will pay 2p a share once a settlement with the US Department of Justice has been completed. For stakeholders, this is a positive, as despite the loss in profits, they are kept engaged in bank activities. To conclude, RBS will be greatly affected by the macro environment when the UK leaves the EU because of all the uncertainties we face around interest rates. However, policies and provisions are already being put in place for when we leave the European Union, so they are attempting to protect themselves. The microenvironment is continually identifying the wrongdoings of RBS, with customer satisfaction and stakeholder engagement prominent in business operations.